Yo, what's up, guys? Happy Monday. Hope you all had a good weekend. It's good to be back with you after a longer weekend away from streaming, taking Friday off to compete in the club member championship where I'm a member at the golf course. No, we didn't win. We didn't win, but we had a ton of fun. But it's good to be with you all today. Thanks for being here, spending some of your Monday with me. You guys know the drill. As always, just jump into chat. Wherever you're watching, say hello. We'll throw some shout outs, a little roll call, if you will, and then we'll start the show here in a few minutes. Um, Movie Duke following over on D Live. So good to see you over there. Joe Elaine over on Rumble modding for us. To all of you guys watching right now on Rumble, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for us. Appreciate you all doing that. And of course, we'll jump into the Comfy Bunker, Pill.net, which is our exclusive home for hour number 2 of today and almost every day's show here on 412 Productions. Let's see who's all hanging out with the fam. We got Lightspear, Lance out there with Floyd Due Diligence. Good to see you both. D. Richard in the house. What's up, D? Joe Elaine, of course, modding the Pill chat as well. Thank you, Joe. Floyd says a margarita Monday cookie, a margarita rather Monday cookie. Ooh, I like that. Thank you for the cookie, Floyd, and kicking off the gold pills as you usually do. Our Harold out there. How you doing, sir? We got Lyle and Jenny, Packers 412 and Curious One out there. I hope you guys are having a good start to your week. Facts, not fear. And Barb Robbins out there. Great to see you guys. Ken Chris, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Pip's mom across the pond in Wales, UK. Good to see you out there. Roy, Stones and Bones over on the West Coast. Welcome, Roy. Kim, Iowa, bringing the heat as always. Great to see you, Kim. Q-Oys says, I missed the opening music. Yeah, I know. I got sick of hearing Dee Snider over and over again. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta find a different musical opening, something to play, splash screen. But I hear you. We'll do something else at some point. I just need to figure it out. Space Cookie, welcome. And who else is out there? Hey, what's up, Maxenon? Checking in over RiseAttireUSA.com. Pensitter over in England. Laura Y right here in my backyard, repping the 412. Lurkin, just need to put my 2 cents in. Always good to hear from you. Laura, hope all is well. Fact Snuff, I said hi to Fact Snuff already. Good to see you. And Zerame, what's up, Zerame? Clover Lily, Monkey Toes, and Havoc 92. Welcome, you guys. Hope you're all having a good Monday. Ruby 317, Pat McFly, Trick Ponies, as much love, Adel and fam. Good to see you, Trick Pony. KG, Awake Russell, Dread Quarters, welcome, welcome, and welcome. Nezercat, rep in Wyoming, Melissa Callie. It is a beautiful day. I hope it is where all of you are as well. It's absolutely gorgeous here in Pittsburgh. It has been for the last few weeks. Don Ritchie, what's up, Don Ritchie? Milan Labe, Kaiman, hanging out in South Africa. Good to see you, buddy. We got Basis LV, says hello from Las Vegas. How is everything going out there in Sin City, bud? Good to be with you all. Again, thank you for starting your week with me here on this Monday afternoon. Please share the link wherever you're watching to my friends on pill.net. Please give us a red pill, repost the show. Those of you on Rumble, please give us a thumbs up and share that link. Speak kindly. Good to see you. Timar, welcome. Filter Dog 1 says it's a raid. Well, you made it just in time because I am starting the intro. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
y'all for tuning in. Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. We addicted to MSM and now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all. I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall. We're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong and stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production. Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adult Nero is the power that's controlling the plight. With all you patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they're confined. They're just slaves in the system till the roles are assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight. But I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? People hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, we're preaching with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only sending vibes, just start raising our boots. These demons all weaponized, now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the roof and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess, they want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right knowing they're wrong. Adult Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adult Nero.
All right, welcome everybody and happy Monday. Thank you guys for being here, kicking off another week of deplorable discussions with us here on 412 Productions. My name is Adult Nero. It is September 16th, 2024. I've got my OG crew riding shotgun, Tennessee Homesteader, and Drunk Pinata. Gonna be with me the next couple of hours. And oh my, another crazy weekend to come back from. TN, how you doing, man?
I'm doing okie dokie. I think I'm gonna do golfing on between the fifth and sixth hole, but I don't know.
Be careful out there.
Yeah, it's. Oh man, well I know we're gonna talk about it, so I'll just leave it at that. But you know, there's also a wild animal loose in the streets. You have to be careful of.
Oh yeah, who's that?
Yeah, that's the one that I sent you the documentary about.
Oh, do you have that queued up?
I can after the either after Pinata or after the sponsors.
Yeah, let's do it after Pinata. Yeah, there is a wild animal. And there's a whole nature documentary about it. It's pretty
Yeah.
fascinating stuff. So yeah, we'll get into that
Yep.
in just a second. Drunk Pinata, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys doing today?
Good, man. Doing good. Just enjoying this beautiful Monday afternoon here in Western PA. And how was your weekend? Do anything fun?
That's pretty typical. Just work and work and working on the house and working on everything and all the stuff.
Good, man. How was thinking logically today?
It's some fun. Just kind of going over some of the basics of what was going on, the things that they're getting right, things that they're getting wrong, and of course, what does the media focus on? He at one time liked Trump. So therefore he must always like Trump because they can't change because If it changes, well, there is something that made him change that or conditioned him to his current state. And if you look at his current state, it is 100% influenced by propaganda.
Yeah.
And yeah, they can't have that. So he will forever be forever young as a begrudging, mind you, uh 2016 Trump voter.
Yeah. And even
He'll be Ray Epps. He'll be a rally goer, you know. He's just a rally goer. And
even that,
there's nothing else behind it or that we're leaving out.
even that, yeah, him voting for Trump in 2016 has been debunked as far as I saw, but maybe I got bad
From what
information.
he was like, his writings and what he was talking about, he said, I don't know if he voted for him, but he said that he hoped that he would have been better, is what I read. So that
Okay.
was, I'm not saying he voted for him. I'm saying the media will say that.
Ah,
But he was like, oh, I think like a lot of people thought, hey, you know what? It would be fun if someone else outside of the establishment got into the presidency. And I think a lot of people voted for Trump just on the fun factor alone in 2016.
sure.
Yeah, there was
Sure.
some, and he seems to be one of these people. And then as soon as 2016 and 2017 started, he appears to be follow the path of the quote never Trumper, right? That seems to be what I'm seeing from what I've been able to absorb so far.
Yeah, that's what I've seen too. Although I've like I said, I read something about the fact that even his support for Trump in 2016 was bullshit. But I don't know. I'd have to go and look again what I actually saw. Um,
Ukraine, 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 Ukraine,
yeah,
Ukraine, Ukraine.
yeah, exactly. He was a Ukraine extremist, we'll call him.
Oh, it's not just it's the latest. I mean, let's step it back. Everything points to Ukraine. Everything's pointing to Ukraine. It started off when Trump makes that phone call. And from that point on, it's been total and 100% Ukraine.
Yeah, you're right.
Even Butler, even Butler, when you think, I mean, I'm not saying that it's circumstantial, but the guy in Butler has 3 foreign accounts encrypted that the FBI can't figure out who they're from, where, blah, blah, blah. This guy here has a tie to Ukraine. Ukraine was tied, there's allegations, if you look at it from that perspective, if we're going to get legal about it, the face recognition of dudes that were in Ukraine in the same photos, or very similar to the same guys that were in the photos with No Name and Graham in Ukraine. Ukraine, all of this. And now I don't know if it's, it just came out. Guy has CIA ties?
Yeah, I've got some interesting stuff
There
on
you
all
go.
of that.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
so
said we
yeah,
weren't
no,
going to talk about it, and then I jumped right into it. It's
you're
Canada's fault. What can I tell you?
right.
And what are the odds that the guy's a roofer?
Yeah,
We,
exactly.
we got extreme slope roofs in Butler, and then here this guy's a roofer. It's like,
It's a roofer.
is there some
Appar-
sort of easy Mad Lib that we're missing, or some sort of symbology that we're missing here?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
it's
And
the
apparently,
altitude on top of the ladder is what it is.
and apparently, also was in a BlackRock commercial, from what I'm hearing too. So I'm not even joking. Like that was coming out too. So anyway, um, let's take care of sponsors. Tion, on second thought, let's queue up the nature documentary thing. We'll kick off hour number 2 at that. That'll be a fun way to kind of break up the show halfway through because I want to stay on the big news of the weekend, which
Yeah,
is
I got it ready.
the yeah, which is the second assassination attempt of Donald Trump. But before we get into that, let's take care of EarthGardenBotanicals.com, our sponsor today, run by our friend Jolene up in Montana, making amazing wellness products. All of the ingredients for these are locally and organically sourced. Fantastic CBD and hemp products. The CBD oil tinctures are amazing. They taste amazing. They have flavors like orange ginger, bergamot, huckleberry, cinnamon bliss, peppermint, cherry. Even the unflavored is very good. You have CBD oil for pets. Your the Delta 8 nighttime gummies, they sell out. It looks like they're sold out. So I'll have to reach out to Jolene about that and see if there are that's something that's gone for good or if we'll be seeing that back on the store. But there's still the arnica salve, the topical cream for your sore joints and muscles. You could get that with or without CBD infused into it. Check out the fire cider to help clear your sinuses. The elderberry tonic is a really good boost for your immune system. White pine needle extract and the sunshine and pine needle tea are good for detoxing. And of course, the critter juice, the all natural insect repellent to help keep the insects and mosquitoes away from you. Promo code 412 gets you 10% off your order. So go load up a cart, say hi to Jolene, and again, use that promo code 412 at checkout. Yeah, that's earthguardbotanicals.com. All right. So second assassination attempt on the golf course. Some interesting stuff here. First, I just kind of want to show this. This is the body cam footage, I guess, of the guy getting arrested. We can just kind of play this in the background while we kind of set this up. But what's interesting about this whole thing was apparently it was a last minute decision for Trump to golf. It wasn't on any kind of public schedule or anything like that. So this guy apparently had been camping out for hours and hours, waiting for Donald Trump or waiting for his opportunity. So there's something fishy going on here with the timing and the setup of all of this.
Gino is floating the theory that there's a mole in
There
the
has to be, right?
service. Right, because he goes through the process of what they call an OTR, off the record.
Yeah.
That's what he was referring to. That, anyways, it's one of the theories. But when you look in retrospect with Butler, comes the question: how did he know to? How was he able to get on the roof?
How was he able to get on there? Yeah, exactly. How was he able to get?
That's the basic premise, and not the physically how did he climb up on the roof. It's just the ability to do so, regardless, right? Now this guy here, we're even if it's off the record, there's an advanced team that needs to go.
Yeah,
and that's where then Bongino's coming in and saying, how did they miss this, right? If the guy was camped out and all that kind of stuff. So, anyways.
exactly. So here it is. Alleged Trump assassin set up sniper's nest near former president's golf course and hid for nearly 12 hours, say federal prosecutors. So Ryan Wesley Ruth, the alleged would-be assassin of former President Donald Trump, reportedly set up a sniper's nest near Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach and waited for nearly 12 hours, preparing an ambush that could have changed the course of history. Federal prosecutors revealed on Monday. The Gateway Pundit reported earlier that Ruth was charged with 2 federal gun crimes during his appearance in federal court today: possessing a firearm despite being a convicted felon and possessing a firearm with an obliterated serial number. It is unclear why he has not been charged with attempting to assassinate the 45th president, despite clear-cut evidence showing he wanted Trump dead. The AP notes it's possible more charges could be levied in the future. Ruth showed no remorse for his actions and was seen smiling as he spoke with his public defender. According to the federal criminal complaint filed on Monday per New York Post, Routh began. How are they saying that in the media?
It should be Routh.
Routh. All right. Routh began his sinister operation early Sunday morning. His cell phone data indicated he arrived at the golf course vicinity at approximately 1:59 a.m., positioning himself for nearly 12 hours before what appeared to be an ambush attempt. Around 1:30 p.m., as Trump played golf just 300 to 500 yards away, a vigilant Secret Service agent spotted the rifle barrel protruding from Ralph's makeshift hideout. An agent fired at the subject, who then ran from the trees, but was spotted by a witness who captured a photo of his black Nissan SUV. The witness provided police with photos of the fleeing vehicle and its license plate number. The agent's subsequent search of the sniper's nest revealed disturbing evidence: a loaded SKS-style rifle, its serial number scratched off and rendered unreadable, alongside 2 bags and a GoPro camera. The rifle, not manufactured in Florida, is believed to have been smuggled from another state or country, according to the complaint. The sinister setup suggested careful planning and intent to carry out a deadly strike. Routh was later apprehended on I-95, allegedly grinning, per Daily Mail, as he was taken into custody, a disturbing display of arrogance in the face of what would have been an unthinkable act of violence. Former President Donald Trump's Sunday golf outing at his Trump International Golf Club was a last-minute decision, sources told CNN. Chris Swecker, a retired FBI assistant director, told Newsweek that the law enforcement community is now focused on determining how Routh appeared to know Trump would be at the West Palm Beach golf course on Sunday. Quote, the biggest question to answer is how did the would-be assassin know to be at that location at that time, Swecker said. During a press conference today, Martin County, Florida Sheriff Will Snyder suggested Trump's second assassination attempt yesterday is part of a bigger conspiracy. We'll play this clip in a bit. Quote, the answer to my knowledge, the answer is no. I think that we're finding out he's not from this area, which of course raises the bigger question. How does a guy from not here get all the way to Trump International, realize that the former president of the United States, is golfing and is able to get a rifle in that vicinity? You can read the criminal complaint below, which we're not
So
gonna...
I was watching Lindbeck earlier today. He met with Trump yesterday or on Saturday, and Trump told him that he was going to take Sunday off, that he wasn't going to campaign event. He was just going to stick around. So the information of him sticking around, not necessarily going golfing, but sticking around, was known on Saturday to some people.
Right.
So there's where they need to start.
Yeah.
Not saying Glenn Beck or something, I'm just saying that,
Right.
people around him were starting to know that they weren't going to do a campaign event. Not doing a campaign event suggests he's going to stay there. Not and staying there suggests he's going to go to Mar-a-Lago, go to the golf course.
Right. I agree.
So if he's hiding out there at towards the tail end of the 1 o'clock hour, nearly 2 a.m., and he's already in that position, that means that they wanted him to be in somebody, or he thought himself to be in that exact position, and to be there in advance so that no one would see him, because he set it up in the dead of night. So to me, it's somebody acted upon information, because at first I'm like, okay, did he see the motorcade and they showed up to Mar-a-Lago, or I'm sorry, from Mar-a-Lago they showed up to the golf course? By the fifth hole, you're talking what, 30, 35 minutes? If there's people ahead of him, but then he's actually playing, and like, it's not just what?
Like to get to the fifth hole?
Yeah, it's a fifth hole. You're talking about, if there's no one there, maybe what, 35 minutes, 40 minutes?
Yeah, I'd say like 40
But what I'm
minutes.
saying is it's a reasonable amount of time for someone to get into position, knowing that he was there. So what I mean is he could see him just arriving and then still be in that position, potentially.
Right.
With the amount of time to set up. But now that we know that he was there the whole time, well, he didn't know when he was showing up.
Yeah,
or that he would, like, so that means that he just, he's going to camp out for 12 hours. I mean, the guy seems crazy enough that he would, just for the offhanded chance. But I mean, we'll find out more. But to me, the decision, or at least the not to do anything with campaign wise, was made on Saturday, and so they need to work from there.
I completely agree. Completely agree.
Still, there's a line of communication to allow him to set up, because the randomness of this does not exist.
No, I think we all agree on that, right? That somebody knew that Trump was going to be at that golf course, or there was a good chance that he'd be playing golf that day, knowing that he was having a day off and in the area.
Right. He's home, and what does Trump like to do?
You can take a pretty good educated guess. Like, if somebody wanted to take me out, on a certain morning, knowing my schedule, they would know where to be hiding in the bushes at the golf club I'm a member at, for a clean shot too. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that hard to figure out where someone like that, who has a pretty consistent hobby, we'll just say, or it's how he spends his free time, is going to be, especially when in a certain area.
Hey, before it gets too far out of here, I forgot to thank you to Old Salty Dog with the ship, who sent that right at the end of my last of the stream. So it may have been behind a couple minutes, but I appreciate that. I saw him in the chat. Just wanted to make sure I thanked him.
Oh, of course. Go ahead, Tian. You're about to say something else too. At least I think you were.
No, no, it's more of the same in that again, it's not only one single event. You have to look at it as cumulative. So now you have, let's put it this way. Obviously, we do not know all that went on during Trump's 4 years or before that he was elected. And we know that we were advised of multiple assassination attempts, and we had the one with that missile that was the helicopter, right? The vertically launched helicopter with a
Yeah,
a rocket
you're,
engine
you're
contra.
making you're making the whole channel sound like crazy conspiracy theories
Yes,
right now.
yes,
That
exactly.
was
But
clearly
you
that was
never,
that was
but you
clearly a
never,
helicopter.
but you never heard of this. You never saw anything like Butler. You never saw anything like this.
Yeah.
Which, so when you look at it from a cumulative perspective, this is why it doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. You got effectively what? July 13th to September 14th? Right? Two
Yeah.
months?
Yeah.
2 months? And I'm not making the number of days or the necessarily an issue. That's another topic. What I'm basically saying is that within 2 months, you have a seemingly pretty major, one of them almost deadly, fuck ups by the Secret Service.
So this is interesting. I thought Love to Cook says that Dilly on his show pot like was toying around with the idea that they're still potentially being spied on and monitored, like their wires tapped the same way they did like using like the Russia collusion, and that's how they would have known, maybe by tapping the phones or having some kind of um spying on.
Surveillance aspect of things too.
Yeah, like
But they
NSA.
have to have well, it's possible. I mean, they maybe have the concept of a quick reaction force, right? Which is what the military has, right? As a backup, it's the quick reaction. So maybe they have something in that fashion that they've come up with a series of people that they have on call, if you will,
Yeah.
right? But and this guy has a background of, aside from the forever Trump aspect of his background, how many pro-Trump people do you see them making propaganda videos for Ukraine?
All of them. We
Yeah,
all love it. We love
right.
it so much. We live to promote sending money to Ukraine.
Exactly, and coming in and trying to solicit to go over there and fight for Ukraine. So yeah, it's that it's all Trump supporters are like that.
Yeah, they
So
nailed us. Perfect. Yeah.
So I mean, when you put all of it in context, and this is, I think, maybe this is our problem that we do make connections with dots that maybe they're not supposed to be connected. But holy moly, we definitely attempted, and they call us conspiracy theorists. But in the big scheme of things, the left just looks at one little myopic point, and we just got a message a little while ago that says, that was, can you tell the forest from the trees? Which basically says you got to go look at the whole context of things that are going on. Now I'm looking at this, I'm going, how many more pointers to Ukraine do you need? Now I'm not saying that it was Ukraine. Let me rephrase that. I'm not saying that it was Ukraine people that put him up or whatever. I'm saying that there's an entire conspiracy surrounding the subject of Ukraine.
Well, we know that Ukraine was a hotbed for a lot of illegal
A
activity.
lot of stuff,
They
but
they
it's
were being
bigger
they
than
were
that.
being
I
used
think
they were being used by many members of our deep state to do things there that they couldn't
it's
do
bigger
here.
than
And
that.
well, I agree, and this is the point I'm getting to, is when Trump made that call and pulled on that thread, I think there was a panic within the deep state that, oh man, if he pulls on this thread too hard, the whole sweater comes unraveled. It starts with the little things like the money laundering and Burisma and maybe some of the biolab stuff and things like that. But the more you pull on that the more people get entangled into the scandal, the more people get entangled, the more people start flipping, the bigger the conspiracy gets, the more shit you uncover until who knows where it all leads to in the long run. But it's a mighty strong thread, or a crucial thread to start pulling on, I think, and that's what you're alluding to too. It starts with the smaller conspiracies, but as those unravel, they lead to bigger and bigger and bigger ones.
I think that I agree. And it wasn't about the past. The past is just, if you look at it, I mean, I look at it this way. The past is the evidence to what they're planning to do in the future. And Ukraine is about the future. It's what they're trying to get accomplished there and drawing the U.S. into it, or in the U.S. is supportive of it. And that's why they fear Trump. Because look at what Trump has basically said is, there's a lot of things to fear Trump about from the deep state perspective. But when you look at all the things that they have done, I mean, they try to impeach him on that. They made all kinds of bullshit stories about that. They first started with Russia. And when you look at it, when all the stuff that they had was coming around to Ukraine again, because Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then you had the ambassador for Ukraine testifying, Colonel Vidman, a Ukrainian, testifying against him as a whistleblower against an impeachment. For what? Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So yeah, you're right, he pulled on that thread, and that, but I think he did it knowingly. At this stage of the game now, it's like knowingly, and he's the gravy, not only the gravy train ends, whatever they had planned for the future there, because now they're talking about nuclear. I mean, they've threatened the nuclear thing for a while, and I don't think it's credible per se. This is just my impression, but that's what they're talking about right now, and it's all centered around Ukraine.
Yeah.
So, and when I say it's our government involvement, yeah, heck yeah.
Kim Miles is, of course, there listening to Trump. No warrant needed. Remember, 412, anyone connected to him. Yeah, who knows? I mean, I would not be surprised if they, because they can jump, I think, what, 2 people or 3 people. So if they have some staffer on his campaign that they've managed to get a FISA warrant on, and within 2 emails or the connection to Donald Trump, then all of a sudden they're able to spy on Donald Trump and hit directly on his communications as well. That's exactly what they did during Crossfire Hurricane.
Carter Page, and they used the bogus connection.
They used Carter Page, and
yeah. So
filtered.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Filter Dog One says FBI revealed during their press conference that they have been aware of Ryan Ralph since 2019. Oh, shocker. You mean someone looking to commit a mass shooting or a major violent crime was on the FBI radar ahead of time? And
or as a foreign asset or any of those things, type of things, but he was on the radar. He didn't necessarily have to be a radar as a risk to the president, but from a perspective of a foreign asset, why not?
Yeah. ADT, thank you for the gold pills as well. I appreciate that. All right. I want to read Donald Trump's statement after this, and then I want to play a video of a guy who did some research into Ryan Ralph's background, Ian Carroll, who does some good work. So I'd like to thank everyone for your concern and well wishes. It was certainly an interesting day. Most importantly, I want to thank the U.S. Secret Service, Sheriff Rick Bradshaw, and his Office of Brave and Dedicated Patriots, and all of law enforcement for the incredible job they've done today at Trump International, keeping me as the 45th President of the United States and the Republican nominee in the upcoming presidential election safe. The job was absolutely outstanding. I'm very proud to be an American. So that's Donald Trump's statement there after this whole situation had played out. Now, here is Ian Carroll, who is giving props to L, or as you guys might know her as Some Bitch I Know, who's a really good researcher who makes her home here on pilled.net as well. So a big shout out to her and all the great research she does over here on Pilled and everywhere. She's a good follow on Twitter too.
And special forces.
Here's some background on Ryan Ralph and his potential connections to the intelligence community.
So the new Trump assassin just dropped, and there's some spicy details already. Ryan Routh, very strange guy who's lived a very strange life. And this time, the internet was wise and archived all of his socials as much as possible before the FBI took it all down. So here's some basics on what we know about him, and one really interesting rabbit hole about who he might be. Right off the bat, though, it's super early. This is all speculative. Take your time, pump the brakes. We're just digging through dirty laundry. We don't know what sticks yet. But this guy is a private American citizen who traveled to Ukraine on his own dime, to help recruit civilian soldiers to fight for Ukraine and Afghan special forces. He was like recruiting on his Facebook page. Here's an archive of all of his tweets that look pretty damn automated to me. They pretty much all look like this. In a past life in Hawaii, he apparently ran this company that made a single tiny home and a single Facebook page and never did anything else with it. Super weird. But I grabbed everyone that he followed on Twitter before they deleted it. He only followed 60. And right down at the bottom of that list, which I think indicates his first follow, is this girl named Sue Kim, who is ex-CIA, along with some other very interesting things. Now again, reminder, this is just speculation, digging through Twitter dirt. Maybe this chick is just a wonderful, patriotic person that's helping America. Who knows? But her account is private, meaning why does he follow her? I've been digging around, and one of my followers said that they found her in the people that follow him back. I have not been able to confirm that for myself because they took the account down. If you've got a video of the 1.2 thousand followers that followed him, that would be great to know. He says that she was at the bottom of his followed list, meaning that she followed him right when he made the account. That would make sense, seeing as she's at the bottom of his following list of who he follows too. I mean, every asset needs a handler. And when you go through some of these other affiliations here, you get what is essentially the CIA training grounds at Johns Hopkins University. It explores the relationship between politics and the many kinds of military power, from the use of terror by small non-state groups to the threatened use of nuclear weapons. Its director is John McLaughlin, who is literally an ex-acting director of the CIA and ex-deputy director of the CIA, 3-decade career at the CIA. David is third on the list of people at the top of this institution at the university. 30-year career in Army Special Forces, various special operations, invading various countries, as well as Operation Enduring Freedom. You get the idea. Anyways, Rand Corporation. That's a military industrial complex think tank, kind of like the Atlantic Council. And LMI org. Yeah, that's like a military industrial complex education and training program as well. Preliminary findings on the internet when you search our homeboy, the shooter, show his arrest record, including in 2002, possession of weapons of mass destruction, Class F felony, along with 3 other blocks of things like possession of handguns or concealed weapons and driver's license stuff. And yeah, that sounds like some operative shit to me. But again, we don't know any of this yet. We're just digging through dirty laundry on the internet. It's hard to tell what's real. But this is a photo of the weapon he used and the setup he had. People are speculating it looks an awful lot like, Russian-Ukrainian class of rifle. He's doing these weird recruitment ops in Ukraine for civilians. Well, he's like posting on his Facebook all the time to like no followers about how he's recruiting hundreds of civilians to fight for Ukraine. Posting for like Afghan special forces to contact him so they can come fight in Ukraine. But he's like just a random citizen from Hawaii. And one of the 60 people he follows is this CIA gal that allegedly follows him back. That looks an awful lot like a handler or a contact. His account looks an awful lot like a bot or an MK Ultra or a Pato. Who knows what the hell this is? His criminal record looks an awful lot like what you might expect a kind of guy in this kind of line of work to leave behind. And then there's the weird video evidence getting turned up.
Officials in Kyiv simply aren't interested in recruiting them. Ukraine is reluctant to be cooperative.
That's Ryan Ruth, a U.S. citizen who set up the International Volunteer Center in Ukraine to help connect foreigners to Ukrainian military units.
Now I'm talking to over 100 soldiers every day, and pretty much everybody, all of my contacts in Ukraine, they were adamant and pretty much yelled at me every time that I suggested that we bring in Afghans.
The Ukrainian government didn't respond to our request for comment, but a source close to the officials in Kiev told Semaphore that their top concern is the question of loyalty in the thick fog of war.
The biggest thing is spies. They're afraid that anybody and everybody is a Russian spy.
Shout out to some bitch I know on X, who currently has one of the best archives of all of his socials and accounts. There's a lot of other people doing good work right now. And again, I just want to clarify, I'm not trying to pretend like I've solved the case or like we know what's going on. We just have learned by now that the FBI is going to just cover everything up. And so it's up to us to try to dig everything out before they do. So that's what we're doing. And yes, it's ridiculous that that is even a set of sentences we have to say in America in 2024 when someone tries to kill the former and future president of the United States of America. And I mean, I can only imagine who might be backing up these operations to try to shoot him and who might be providing the intel and the access and the cover-ups, etc. So last thing I'll say, Ryan Routh, he's currently in custody. He was driving away in an SUV. They caught him. He's alive for now. And I just want to remind us all, Ryan Routh did not kill himself. If cameras malfunction outside of his cell, if he has a weird slipping accident, whatever happens, yeah, you know the story. 50 more days, my money's on at least one more attempt before we get there. So stay frosty, because the war machine desperately needs the wars to escalate, and they're not down with the MAGA Maha folks shutting down the wars. And they are ready to kill people, ready to assassinate, allegedly, apparently, theoretically, just jokingly, in order to perpetuate those wars.
Da 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 da. And it's
Yeah.
bigger than the wars. The
I think
wars
so
needs
too,
an
Ken.
end.
I just want to say real fast before you finish that thought that apparently L or some bitch I know is going to be on Quite Frankly tonight. And if you want to hear what will probably be a very interesting conversation between her and Frank about a lot of this, about who this guy was. I mean, that was a quick 6-minute video. They'll probably, stretch out a conversation, for a half hour to an hour on Quite Frankly.tv tonight. So, yeah, I would go check that out if you want to hear more. But again, Tian, you listen to that. Pinata, you listen to that. This isn't just some random mentally ill dude. This guy clearly has some kind of connections to quite a few interesting people and weird social media. And then you bring in the whole Ukraine aspect of things. Yeah.
So you have to consider what's in it for the dude. So he's either a zealot
Mhm.
on one extreme, right? Doesn't care what happens. His goal is to take out Trump. On the other extreme, he's doing it because he has some level of assurance of success and getting away with it. Because anywhere in between, the guy on Butler, if you look at all the assassins that have been out there, aside from Sirhan that was accused of the assassination, right? I'm just putting it out there. How many were arrested versus killed? Right? And the most recently, of course, is Butler, right? The most
those are
recent one,
killed
Butler.
because if they're put up to it by someone on the inside, you don't want them talking.
Exactly.
About,
That's my point. So
Yeah.
from that guy's brain, what was he telling them? Because he certainly was not a zealot. We can say that he was not. With a certain level of a certainty, we can say he was not a zealot. He may not have liked Trump. He may have hated Trump, but he was not a zealot.
Tian, I keep waiting for this event or this thing that really breaks open. How do I say it? That really starts
Whoop-ass can of worms.
That accelerates the the Great Awakening in a way, and
Yeah.
wondering if this guy being taken alive, if he'll crack, he'll say something that's going to lead to other massive innovations, right? Like that's kind of what I'm wondering.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's that little chuckle he had, which was showed up in the body cam video, which is pretty interesting because it's kind of like full of himself, or you guys got nothing on me.
Mm-hmm.
Because wouldn't you be shitting your pants if you were just kind of arrested and I don't know.
He's either that mentally gone, far gone, right? That it's just like he's numb to the consequences, or he's
If possible, but his videos, if you look, the ones that I've seen, where there's another one where he's doing kind of like a recruitment type of, it's almost like an interview type of thing.
yeah.
No, he was way too lucid to be. Of course, I mean, you sometimes have sociopaths and psychopaths that are basically very well adjusted to being in society, yet they're crazy. He didn't give me that vibe. So, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just another one of those. One thing we can say for sure is that's number two that we know of publicly. Number two. Amazing. Which basically, if nothing else, shows you, and this may be redundant, but think about it. And sorry, it's not an order. It's just more or less of a statement saying how much of a threat that one man represents, which tells you is not that one man.
And that's really well said. I completely agree. It's not. This isn't a lone actor, and I don't think anyone can.
No, and I don't mean that. Not only the lone actor. I was referring to more or less the aspect of the threat that Trump represents.
Oh, I misunderstood. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely it's not one guy on the alleged shooter and all that. No, he had help, just like Butler. There's something had to clear the way. However, he knew about it. Something was a hole had to be created for these two clowns to slip into. What I'm referring to is this: if they're willing to take him out after all the shit that they put Trump through, after all the attempts that they've tried to do against him, after both bullshit and flat out lies that they did, and now to try to kill him twice with questionable situations both times, how much of a threat is one single man? It tells you it's not one single man. There's something that Trump is bringing forward. He's the tip of the spear, and whatever that is, they can't have it.
Yeah, completely agree.
And I'm assuming you're talking more than just an awakened populace.
Way more than an awakened populace. Way more. That's why I'm saying this whole thing with Ukraine is even way bigger. I don't know what it is. I can speculate. We can speculate on infinitum. But the point is that the reality is that when you look at how much of this guy that came down an escalator and who was their darling before he came down to the escalator, all of a sudden is the devil personified to these people, to the point where they're trying to assassinate him and trying to make it look like a random nut job with all the other shit behind it. It's like, what is he that he actually represents?
Hey, Adol, go to that Ian Carroll's Twitter page. He just posted a new video that they're trying to allege that there might be a connection between Crooks and this guy. He just posted a new video.
Yeah, let me get over there. Let's see. Here we go.
Dude, conspiracy theorists are about to lose their minds. This might be nothing, but it might be a direct connection between the first Trump shooting and the most recent Trump shooting, as in payments from one shooter to the other. And before I show you the sources and the details here, I just want to clarify that this is super preliminary. We don't know what's real yet. Theories, evidence, just pump the brakes. But like, we want to get this stuff circulating so that it doesn't get buried. So check this out. Multiple friends have just sent me this article about Maxwell Urick, which a lot of theorists on the internet were saying is the actual shooter of the first Trump shooting. There's a lot of speculation. It's not really clear. But this article published on August 30th alleges that he's been missing since that Trump rally. And he turned up because he was training at the same shooting range as Crooks was shooting and training at. And people were alleging that he looked an awful lot more like the person in the photo from the rooftop than Crooks. Crooks' dad has been walking around with a person in a mask and a hood. It's all very weird, and I don't know what the story is there, but the weird part is that in this article, published last month, is this sentence. Bank records of Thomas Crooks reveal a few unusual payments to two individuals, Ryan Routh and Peter Riddle. So this article is directly alleging that the shooter from the first rally, or the alleged shooter from the first rally, was making payments to the shooter from the second shooting? What? And I know that is like way too heavy to like, what the fuck? So I had to at least double check that this date is real, that it's not like some made up article that's just like someone's made this image on just to fuck with you. So I took that website and plugged it into archive.org, which archives the history of websites. And that website existed on August 30th. The earliest recording of this article is August 30th, meaning that it was online before we knew that Ryan Routh was going to shoot Trump this week. So obviously everyone's still digging through Routh's dirty laundry, still trying to figure out what the heck is going on. This just adds a weird layer to the riddle. I would love for other creators to add to this theory, for people to add evidence, to figure out what the heck this is, debunk it if this is not true. I am very confused, but at the same time, maybe not so confused. It's just that if this is true, then conspiracy theorists are more right than you could have ever imagined. And after all, if some group is out there trying to take out Trump and they're contracting with their group of hitmen, then it would kind of make sense that they would keep contracting with the same group of like paramilitary extras, and that group would have ties between them all. Like the FBI must have looked at all of Thomas Crook's bank accounts. So Ryan Routh must have been in their crosshairs. So now all I want to know is, where's Maxwell Urick? What's going on there? And who is this Riddle guy who was also receiving payments? Anyone got any answers?
Damn.
Yeah, that's the one that came to mind first, is who's Peter Riddle. Almost sounds like a movie.
What a name, right? Peter Riddle, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely sounds like a alias, right?
Yeah, Peter Riddle. Yeah, that's a bit.
Riddle, Peter Riddle. But the one angle that I was thinking is they're looking at Crook's bank account and they're talking about that Yaren guy. Well, what if it's a little for sale type of thing, and one of them had to be the bag man, the money man, that kind of thing, and the coordinator and things of that nature. But it's pretty interesting. More than meets the eye, the more and more. But it still comes down to this. It's certainly not a lone wolf crazy person scenario here that's developing. We have the feds through the Secret Service and FBI, etc., stonewalling, the Secret Service stonewalling like crazy. You have DHS stonewalling Congress like crazy in general on the border front. You have Secret Service, which reports to DHS, on the Trump assassination front. Now number two. It's beyond incompetence here. It's beyond incompetence.
I completely agree. There's no way. Here's the FBI expert telling CNN that the plot against Trump was likely inspired by the media and their Hitler comparison. So I'm going to share, actually, before I play this, I'm going to play something that was sent in. I'm sorry, I forgot who sent this link in the chat. I grabbed it though, and thank you for it. I guess Trump put out a new ad that kind of shows the left using violent rhetoric against him. So I'll play this, I'll play the other clip, and then I have some thoughts.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
Press always asks me, don't I wish I were debating him? No, I wish we were in high school, I could take him behind the gym. That's what I wish. I said, no. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
That you cannot be civil with a political party that wants to destroy what you stand for, what you care about.
If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
President Walker, how do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
When they go low, we kick.
Please, get up in the face of some Congress people.
Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
That there is what you call carpe diem.
You know, she really should have spent more time thinking about blowing up the White House and less time thinking there's something wrong with my face. I need to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to carve it up some more.
So let me play this too, and then I'll make a simple point, and then we're going to have to go to our halfway break here. We'll go exclusively to pill.net in like 2-3 minutes. So as you guys watching on the other platforms, find us over there at 412 Production. Links are in the Rumble chat or Rumble description underneath the stream. Here's an FBI expert kind of bolstering the point that Ad just made.
What does the fact that he wanted to survive say to you?
It says that he's not he's not suicidal. Apparently, he wasn't going to take his own life if he was almost being captured. Clearly, we saw that he was captured without that. And it tells me that he's probably much more politically motivated. The last shooter in Pennsylvania, I don't want to say his name because I don't want to promote him in any way, but he was clearly a guy that was looking for the notoriety of taking that shot. I would think we're going to find that this guy's extremely politically motivated and that he probably was spurred on by much of the political diatribes that are going on these days, talking about Trump, equating him to Hitler and things like that. So I don't think this is the last we'll see of crazies out there trying to do this.
What does the fact?
So it sounds like CNN is like, wow, everybody on here is holding us accountable. But right. to me, this is the lesser of two evils when you're talking about the greater situation here. Is you almost have to give them that, because the truth is it has nothing to do with rhetoric. It has nothing to do with filled speech. This is like Tien said, a much greater conspiracy about something far greater than just a threat to democracy or this, that, or the other thing. This is a multi-trillion-dollar threat, or a threat to a multi-trillion-dollar establishment. An existential threat to their control that they have over everything right now. This is far bigger than that. So
how can something like that exist? The media hasn't told me that it can exist.
Right.
Exactly.
What's interesting?
By the way, I don't know if you guys saw this. The Ohio governor had to go out and say that all of the phone calls for the bomb threats came from outside of the country. All of them.
The bomb threats.
So the whole big thing was Donald Trump over the weekend. The whole thing was Donald Trump and J.D. Vance said something about cats and dogs. So therefore, bomb threats were called into the schools and to the hospitals and City Hall.
Oh.
They really just said, they said this, so therefore that has to be the reason. Without any evidence, of course. Like playing the calls or actually showing them. I think at one point someone did find one of the calls and it was clearly not related. And so here you go. Completely vindicated.
Once again. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just not to sound like a broken record, but there's something humongously big that even the entire United States is a small part of.
Yeah.
There's something, because if you look at the aspect of Russia as well, you have something going on there a la Ukraine. It sounds obvious when you look at it, but if you look at it, if you step back, and not to sound grandiose or anything like that, but if the old 40,000 foot level view that we were kind of given as a hint, if you will, which has many meanings, but nonetheless, if you step back and look at it from that level of an altitude, look at it globally, what's going on and where do you have the conflicts? I even think the one in Israel is a distraction to the bigger scheme. And the U.S. plays a majorly big role, but within that, Trump is some big ass thorn, representing a thorn.
I completely agree. I agree with everything you just said there.
Kind of weird, kind of interesting to be through these times, because we're in the stands. Some people are in the nosebleed section. I would probably venture to say the majority of the people, and self included, are near or at the nosebleed section that are on the field, and watching this happen, meaning it play out, the game play out.
All right. We have to go to our break, the halfway break here, go exclusively over to pilled.net. Let me grab the link and throw it in the Rumble chat just to make it a little easier for you guys to find your way over. You can throw it over on DLive chat as well. Again, or just go to pilled.net in your browser. We're at 412 Productions over there. You'll see our thumbnail live on the left-hand side of the screen or top of the screen, depending on whether you're on mobile or desktop. I'll play a quick video on the other side. We will officially say goodbye and shut down those other platforms, and then we'll read your gold pill chats if there's any we've missed, and then we'll get back in. Tien's got a fun little video to play to kind of get things in the second half off to a lighthearted start. But with that, we'll be right back in 30 seconds.
Pill.net is proud to host 412 Productions exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pill.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family, and if you have any questions at all, please email support@pill.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on Pill.net. Free speech lives here.
All right. As always, a huge thank you to everybody out there continuing to hang out with us, jumping over from the other platforms. Those of you who are not, no worries. We will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern for another broadcast. On Wednesday, I believe we have Craig Mason of Reasonable TV jumping back in again for a visit. And then on Saturday morning, I'm going to be sitting down for another conversation with our good friend M3, Methods to Madness. So make sure you guys are ready. We'll probably do that same way we did last time. We'll go from 9:30 a.m. until about 11 or so. Maybe a bit longer this time. I don't have as much going on this Saturday, at least not yet, that I normally do. So we might be able to extend it even a bit longer than we did last time. But yeah, we're going to have M3 on Saturday morning for another show. So that's going to be a lot of fun too. And then we got more stuff coming next week. I'll announce that later on in the week. But for now, it's time to say goodbye to those other platforms. So again, if you'd like to keep hanging out, we're going to go for another hour over on pilled.net. Find us over there at 412 Productions. Otherwise, have an awesome rest of your what is it, Monday, your Monday. We'll see you guys on the Tuesday show. All right.